share, you have to know a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chevette Williamson. I am married. I'm a mother of two. I'm a jewelry artist that teach and encourage women to be themselves and to stand out. I also promote the importance of creatively different, being creatively different in our small community. How did I get started? I have been in the banking industry for approximately 22 years. I knew in my spirit that the 9 to 5 job wasn't for me. I constantly look for ways to start a business, to find out what it will take for me to leave the banking industry and to do my own thing. And some of the businesses that I started was, I had a fabric store in Palmdale. The name of it was Oceans of Notions. My husband and I, we made PVC furniture. I baked. One of the most popular pastry that I baked was my pumpkin, banana, and guava rolls. I also did multi-level marketing. And in 2010, I decided to make that leap. And during that time, it was, a recession period. And my husband was like, "Where are you going, Chevette? What are you doing? You're leaving your good paying offshore banking job to leave certain for uncertain." And at the time, I had already started working on the business, and I knew that I wasn't able to leave until it had gotten to a certain level. And so with that, we just can't up and say, "Oh, I want to leave my job," and not be conscious of what it is that you need to do and to be able to deal with your financial responsibilities. And so with that, we know that we have to plan. There are a lot of times customers come into the store and they say, "Oh my goodness, it's almost time for retirement and I need to find out what I need to do because, I will be bored." And so they start looking for something to do when it's almost time for retirement. And that's not the right way to do it. While we're on the 9 to 5 job, we need to burn the midnight oil and find what it is that we're passionate about. And I did just that. I tried a few things. I wasn't, I was good at the baking, but baking was not my calling. And today I still have persons calling me and asking me, "Listen, what you saying about the guava roll and the pumpkin roll, but listen, the kitchen just ain't for me." And so I knew that that wasn't my calling. I was able to do it, but I didn't like doing it. And so I took that leap of faith, and 13 years to date, I've owned a bead store, Chevy's Accessories. I have taught the technique, jewelry making technique, never turned back, and I love what I do. I got into the jewelry making industry because I like fashion. I saw that there was an opportunity and I jumped for it. During that time, there were a few persons in the industry who sold findings, who went around to the different classes that the government was teaching, and they sold findings. And when I realized that there was an opportunity, I was hungry because I love fashion. I loved making jewelry. And here it is, I realized that there was an opportunity, and there was an opportunity for me to work on something to leave my job. And I want to say thank you. And I always know and understand the importance of uplifting those who have helped you along the way. And I want to give a shout out to April Martin. She is an awesome, awesome, awesome conch shell artist who had no problem with sharing her knowledge about the industry. And I would call on her and I would say, okay, tell me about this, tell me about the next. And she had no problem. She was excited to share with me and teach me some of the things that I know about shells and the name of the shells, what kind of shells were being used during that time. And so I want to say thank you to April. And so moving along in the journey, the journey was not easy because I realize and understand how us as artisans are going to take our craft to the next level. And in 2011, I promoted an event called Beaters in Paradise. And I understood at the time that in order for us as artisans to take our jewelry international and to the next level, and to be able to stand out from the other artisans when we go to a pop-up event, we had to learn different techniques. And so that was the vision I had when I invited well-known international artisans in the jewelry industry to come and teach us here in the Bahamas the different techniques. For 3 years, I promoted, and just so happens that it's so hard to plan when we are working with a mindset that that does not do things until the last minute. And that's our as Bahamians, I realized that was our mindset. And working with the international instructors who had to plan to come, realized that it didn't work that way. And for 3 years, I pushed. And during that time, I was so excited about what it is that the vision that I had, that I invested all that I had into that. And it took me for a financial loop, swing, you name it. It took me through the ringer. And, we have obstacles that we face, and we realize that over the years, we allow these obstacles and the fear that we gained during this period to keep us back. And I realized too that I allowed fear and what was going on in my mind. I realized that the battle that we face is in our head, and we're constantly fighting with ourselves, trying to overcome our fear, trying to figure out the way forward. And I want to really embrace and to say thank you to the customers that I have built a relationship with over the period of time that I spent and at Lincoln Boulevard at the store. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm willing to share, and I'm always excited about the industry and what it is that we have to do to make sure that we move and take ourselves further. I want to say thank you to an awesome handbag artist by the name of Valera Glinton. And she is an amazing lady because every time she comes in and she shares her experience, she is not afraid to take that leap of faith. And I had a conversation with her, and I told her how, for many years I've been trying to push myself to go abroad and to promote my jewelry. And the fair, because of the financial struggles that I've had after Beaters in Paradise, it crippled me, and it made me afraid of stepping out and pushing myself beyond. And every time she came in there, every time she come into the store, she says, "Oh wow, I just came back from Fashion Week, and I just came back from Essence." I said, "Oh my gosh, do you know how long I've been planning to go to these events?" And so we have to embrace our gifts, and we have to make sure we understand what it is that we're capable of doing and move forward. Do not allow our fear to keep us back. And what allowed me and helped me to step out of my comfort zone and to overcome my fear was being involved in a group with Keishel Davis, and the board members, being around women who are pushing themselves to the limit, and they're overcoming their fears. And I want to say thank you to them for pushing me and encouraging me to step out and to do the things that makes us nervous. Just take, for instance, doing this Facebook Live is just nerve-wracking. Here, talking to myself, and I'm looking to see if any messages are going up. And I know that there are people who are posting little replies, but there's nothing. I can't see any messages, but I see there are 16 people live, and I appreciate you all coming on to hear what I have to say. And so one of the things that we have to understand is that we have to get with like-minded women who are pushing themselves to be the best that they can be and to follow their dreams and their passion. And so for me to do this, I was encouraged and pushed by a group of women led by Keishel Davis and her organization to make this happen. And sometimes we understand that we all have our gifts, but we are not all 100% at everything. And that's why there is businesses where they have the marketing department, they have the sales department. And so it's difficult when you're trying to do everything yourself. But when you have a team of person who can encourage you and give you direction, it helps you to step out of that comfort zone and do the best that you're able to do. And so during this season, we have to dig within ourselves to see what it is that we are gifted with, so that we can fine tune. We have to find the time to focus. And these are some of the things that I do to be better at what it is that I want to do in my business. And I'll read them off. I find time to focus. I define and redefine what it is that I desire to do, and I move forward with it. I find the time to gain the knowledge, fine-tuning, strategy, wisdom, education, and perfecting it. And so during the season of COVID, before the lockdown, I was teaching classes. I was teaching, and it was going well. And the word that, everybody is saying now, you have to learn how to pivot. I was one that never was comfortable learning online. I'm a hands-on person, and I would watch videos and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting that. I have to watch that a trillion times in order for me to understand what's happening. And and so when it came time for me to learn and accomplish a lot of the education and the learning that I had to do online, it was difficult for me. But for me who need repetition, and so I listened to the videos, and so during this time, I I realized that I had to take hold of myself because I was so depressed. And coming on and sharing with you that we will have this season where you are going to get into that spirit of just being depressed and that self pity. And you just have to, cry your tears, wipe them up, brush off and move on. Because after sharing with Bolera and her sharing with me what she did, I decided that in 2020 would be that time that I jump, that I take the leap. And in January of this year, I signed up for Atlanta Apparel Mart. I paid the deposit. I paid the deposit for Essence, and I paid the deposit for Black Woman Expo. And I did that all in January because I wanted to make sure that my mind, and I wasn't going to talk myself out of it. And God had other plans. And listen here, I want you to know that I cried some tears. But I realized that, God had other plans. And so there's no need for me to dwell on that. I got my deposit back and I said, okay, I am going to work towards 2021. And during this season, I was able to really regroup and make sure that I had everything lined up so that when 2021 approached, I'm ready. And I'm ready, and I realize that I'm going to be ready, and I'm not going to be the only person that will be ready, because I was able to start a Facebook group. And first, when I started, it was free, and I welcomed a lot of persons to join. And for a period of time, I shared a lot of techniques that women were so appreciative about. And we were able to start learning online, including me, because, in the beginning, as I told you, I was not one who was comfortable learning online. And so to date, we have about 55 members. The membership is going very well. Please, if you're interested in jewelry making and you feel that this is something for you and you want to brush up on your techniques or even learn how to make jewelry, then that is the group for you. It's a membership on Facebook, only $20 a month. And I know for a fact that as we continue to grow and understand the importance of learning the new techniques and being different and being able to stand out, we will be able to come together as a group. And that is one other thing that I know in this industry that we as artisans have to learn to do. We have to learn how to work together to be able to take ourselves to the next level. And so there is no reason why during this time we cannot better ourselves and our technique, figure out what it is that we are very good at, master that, and be ready to take that to the international market and come together as a unit to promote each other, because it's going to be a while before our economy bounce back. And so even though we know that, home here, it's, sometimes you look and you start to plan and you say, oh my goodness, it doesn't make sense planning because everything is just falling down around us. But there is hope. We know that we can work together. There's the international market. And so we have to make sure that we pull ourselves away from the tube, the television, Netflix, our phones, Facebook, surfing, social media, and practice, and to get better at what it is that we do. And we know that the gifts that God has given us. And we want to stay positive. Also, we want to read the books. We also want to find the mentors. We want to be with like-minded women who are going to encourage us, who are going to push us to cross our barriers. We also want to be creative and think outside of the box. When it comes to jewelry making, I tell women, when you are inspired by someone else's jewelry, you want to get the inspiration, but you want to tweak it, change it up a little bit, and make it your own. We also want to rid ourselves of the fear. Okay? You want to be hopeful, you want to be positive. And if that calls for us not listening to the news every day, and being busy at what it is that we have to do, then turn the TV off, turn the radio off. Also continue to work on our vision, our dreams, prepare ourselves to work hard. Get rid of our lazy attitude and our lazy, laid-back spirit. We want to push and market our brand and our products. And so with all that I do, and I try to encourage and to promote my customers to stand out, be creative, and to work with artisans who, whenever we come up with a collection or we want to try and incorporate local material so that we're able to build that community, so that others are able to teach young adults a trade. And I just want to say that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult moving forward. But if we stick together and we be with like-minded individuals and we encourage each other, I feel within my heart that we will overcome. But this is the time for us to get creative, learn as much as we can, practice, and be with like-minded persons. And so with that said, this is my first speed talk, first of many to come. And I'm sure the second would be perfect. And I am so nervous right here just sharing with you, but I am so happy that you all took the time to listen to what I have to say. And be blessed, be encouraged, stay safe. And thank you again for listening.